Lewis Hamilton will leave Mercedes at the end of this coming Formula One season and is joining Ferrari, confirmed. That's it. No more rumours, no more gossip. It is official that the statistical greatest of all-time Formula One driver, Lewis Hamilton, will join the Tifosi, the Scarlet Red, the most historical team in Formula One history, Ferrari, in 2025. And just what a way to start this coming Formula One season. People who thought that 2023 was a bit dry, a bit boring. First of all, they ain't wrong. But second of all, what a way to inject some life back into this sport, and what a way to get people excited for this coming season, because Lewis has still got to drive that Mercedes. Ferrari still have Leclerc and Sainz for one more season, but this is going to send silly season, the Formula One transfer market, into an absolute spiral. If you thought it was mad in that COVID off-season in 2020 with Sebastian Vettel announcing he'll be leaving Ferrari, Ricciardo moving to Renault at a similar period, Sainz moving into that Ferrari seat, and the chaos that went with that season, this is going to be a whole new ballgame. This is going to be another level. But what you're going to be screaming at me, and what we really want to get into today, is why has Lewis Hamilton decided to join Ferrari? Why have Ferrari decided to change things up, spice things up in their lineup? A lineup that has got Charles Leclerc signed long term, and Carlos Sainz, a multiple race winner for the Scuderia, and a driver who really knows how to turn a wheel up against Charles Leclerc. Why have they decided to make a switch? And it is going to be Sainz that does move on to pastures new. We're not going to talk today about where he's going to go, but that storyline with Audi potentially coming in, maybe an Aston Martin link, that is going to be a very enjoyable topic for another day. But the focus, we must talk about Lewis Hamilton, the 7-time Formula One world champion, with 103 wins, the most of any driver in Formula One history, 197 podiums. I've got no doubt that will be past 200 by the time he gets to Ferrari. 104 pole positions, an absolute monster behind the wheel of a Formula One car. Why has he decided to make this switch? Because since his debut all the way back in 2007, he has always had a Mercedes engine in his car. Whether that was in his early days with McLaren, that championship-winning 2008 season, all the way through to his departure at the end of 2012, and into his new role in Mercedes in 2013. And crikey, what success has he had there. 6 world championships, almost 7, almost so close, but not quite. And now, after 2 difficult seasons, a pole position last year at Budapest, but no wins in 2022 or 2023, he's looking for a new challenge. And Lewis is certainly now coming to the latter stages of his Formula One career. Is going to turn 40 next season. He has got to make one final decision. Does he decide to stay at Mercedes, a team he knows so well, a team that he is the leader of and is an icon of the brand in general? Not just Formula One, the entire Mercedes brand. Does he want to stay there? A team that is fighting at the front. A team that, as he very well knows how to make a world championship winning car, but is a team that haven't got these new regulations right. And before we've even gone racing in 2024, before we've even gone testing, Lewis has decided to jump ship. He's decided to try a new challenge, and even though he knows this team so well and they're built around him, with this one last jump, it's his last chance to try something new. And it is no secret that Hamilton has always flirted with the idea of joining Ferrari. There's always been links. He always speaks very, very highly of them. Has worked with Frederick Vasseur, the Ferrari team principal, back in Lewis's GP2 days in 2006 when he won the title for ART. He's often seen driving his Ferrari around Monaco. He's got lots of links there. He has a real affiliation and love for the Ferrari brand. And as the only manufacturer, the only team in Formula One history to have driven in every single season of Grand Prix racing, This has got to be the biggest transfer ever and possibly of all time. Will never ever be beaten, a story this big. And Ferrari have been fighting at the front, though they were pipped by Mercedes in 2023 and may indeed happen again in 24, and don't forget 2025. Actually, it's 2026, that new regulation change. That's where you want to be aligning yourself. That's why you see so many drivers like Charles Leclerc, like Max Verstappen, Lando Norris of late as well, putting pen to paper for long-term contracts to make sure they are team leads and in a good place for that 2026 regulation change. Hamilton could stay at Mercedes, but at one last chance to join Ferrari after a period of relative success. I would argue that already this generation of Formula One car, they have been much closer to challenging for titles than in the previous regulation change from 2014 all the way through to 2021. Yes, there were a few seasons where Sebastian Vettel got close, but especially in 2022, early doors, Leclerc looked very, very close. And if the team just operationally were able to screw their heads together, that would make a big difference. And a driver with the prestige of Lewis Hamilton, the experience, expertise of Lewis Hamilton, I really do believe that's going to push them in the right direction. They do have two heavyweight drivers to be dealing with, though. What on earth is that lineup? Charles Leclerc and Lewis Hamilton in one team under one roof. There's got to be fireworks. There really does. And though Hamilton has had some incredible teammates over the years, world champion teammates, Fernando Alonso, Jenson Button, Nico Rosberg, even race winners such as Valtteri Bottas, Heikki Kovalainen was in that list as well, and most recently, of course, George Russell, who's absolutely no slouch in the early stages of his Formula One career and is a very safe pair of hands to lead Mercedes forward into the future. I think George is going to be a very, very special talent over the course of his career. Conversation for another time. Back to Hamilton and Ferrari. Leclerc and Hamilton, that is going to be difficult to manage. Two of the greatest drivers of this current generation. Someone who's coming to the end of their career. Someone who is entering their peak years. A serial, but actually both of them, serial qualifying specialists. Hamilton is ruthless at converting those pole positions into victories. Charles Leclerc, in fairness to him, hasn't had the machinery to do that. So it's going to be really interesting to see what kind of a role Hamilton will play at Ferrari. He wants to go for that 8th title. That is his motivation. That's what his goal is for joining this team. It's not just to have a ride around, to enjoy that scarlet red, to put on the overalls, that Lauda, Schumacher, Fangio all wore in their careers. It's to win races. It's to lift that 8th world title and to be the definitive champion with the most world titles. And if he can beat Max Verstappen on the way, I think that'll be a little bit sweeter for him. But is that the Hamilton we're going to get? Is he going to take to that car like a duck to water? Or Charles Leclerc, who has had plenty of experience in that team. Don't forget, he's been here since 2019, since the Sebastian Vettel days. Hamilton's going to be his 3rd teammate at Ferrari. And so far, it's been close with Sainz, but Charles has had the edge. He has been the dominant man at Ferrari since he showed up in just his 2nd season of Formula One. He's not going to take any prisoners. He is not going to be rolling over and letting Lewis take control of his team. So Frederic Vasseur has got a lot on his plate being team principal of Ferrari, and as we know, operationally, there is certainly things they need to correct. But they've got 1 year to do it. Lewis Hamilton is not going to stand any messing. Charles Leclerc this year is going to want to push on, prepare himself for having Hamilton as a teammate. And on the flip side of that, for Ferrari, they know this is a golden ticket opportunity. They might never, ever get another chance like this to bring a driver on the level of Lewis Hamilton to their team to try and bring them back to their glory. Don't forget, they've not won a title since 2007. When we get to these new regulations in 2026, that's going to be practically 20 seasons of Grand Prix racing. 20 seasons. That's not acceptable for a team like Ferrari. This is their chance to change things, to get back to the front. It's an incredible day. It's a day where you think to yourself, what was I doing the day Lewis Hamilton signed for Ferrari? Is it going to work? Only time will tell, but this takes guts. This is what Formula One's all about, and I cannot wait to see Hamilton, Norris, Verstappen, Leclerc, and I'm sure a few more sprinkled on top, fighting across the next few seasons of Formula One.